Hi, good evening. The last video was about breathing, and I did mention um, about the central nervous system and why that was important um, to health. Plays a major role in your body's health. So I thought it was a really good idea to just give a brief explanation on the role of the central nervous system. And before I get to that, um, we're going to talk about the the fight or flight response trigger. So that all fits in. Okay, so our bodies are extremely complex, and we have a series of systems that keep us at optimal health. The digestive system, the pulmonary cardio system, um, the um, the central nervous system, and there's several others. But I think the key one in a way is the central nervous system. And so, how does fight or flight affect this, or what is fight or flight stress hormone response? Well, very briefly, and as clearly as I can explain, it's there to to protect us, and has been developed in our body over thousands of years. It is there for us to run away from danger or to fight the danger. And we will make a conscious decision of which one to do, which one will protect us. If we've got the opportunity to run, then that's what we'll do. If we have no choice, we will fight. Either way, the body goes through a series of actions to help us do either. And the major action is the release of blood flow to the working muscles that we require. So if we need to fight, it will go to our upper body and into our neck and face, so we can shout as well, or it will go into our legs, so we can run away quickly. That's often why we go pale-faced if we are in a situation where we do need to fight, because the blood rushes away from the face. If we need to run, and the same thing happens as well, and it's short-lived. It happens over a period of about a minute, because we can't continue this running. We can't run away from a bear or a lion indefinitely. So it's there as a quick, powerful, immediate action to take to save us from death, and it still works to this day in exactly the same way. However, there are no lions or bears chasing us, so we aren't in immediate danger as we were when we were sort of cavemen, if you like. Our stress now is more to do with financial or emotional stress regarding family or friends, but the stress response is the same. So, for example, if we're worried about a family member being not well, we trigger stress hormones, just as we do if we're worried about what's in our bank account and can we afford our bill. It's the same response. So it's a very antiquated response in that respect, and it hasn't been refined to help us cope with modern day stresses. Although there are ways we can teach it, and that's what I want to help you guys with. But before we go into that, I just wanted to give you more of the biology or what's happening in the body before we do that. Now, because of the cerebral spinal process, we have a very clever mechanism. We visually see and we hear things as well. Information is coming in all the time, and it's our conscious mind that makes the decision whether to accept it as the truth or not. Once it becomes truth or becomes habitually the truth, it then by default processes into the solar plexus, which is the spinal process, part of the cerebral spinal process, in a ganglion of nerves. So in actual fact, what we're thinking about then eventually becomes part of our flesh. So we're constantly, on a daily basis, moment by moment, developing this process into the nervous system, and once it's embedded into the sympathetic nervous system, it becomes automated. Hence, it's called the automatic nervous system. Our body functions are split into the two sides of this nervous system: sympathetic and parasympathetic. Everything on the sympathetic side controls digestion. We don't have to think about breaking down our food; it just happens automatically. We don't really think about the oxygen passing to the cells for them to function. This just happens automatically. So a lot is happening on our behalf without us thinking about it. But we kind of have to be careful as well, because we're processing this information, as I said, on a daily basis, and we're not always guarded on what information we're allowing to be programmed into the autonomic nervous system. So when we take time out to just breathe and relax our bodies and focus on the diaphragm, we certainly teach the body a new state of relaxation, and this programs into the sympathetic nervous system. So when we eventually do start to learn to be a bit more positive and have more regular positive internal language to ourselves, and we also learn to process information externally correctly, for example, if we're bombarded with negative words or actions from other people, we can be more selective what we believe or agree with. So really what we're doing here is a bit of a pre-lesson. So we're teaching our minds and our bodies what relaxation is, because I think it's an art that's been lost. Now, you may think, well, surely when I go to sleep, I'm relaxed. And you're absolutely right, of course you are. This is where your body repairs. It repairs overnight. However, the subconscious mind is awake at that time, but the conscious mind isn't. Therefore, you are not consciously teaching relaxation because you're asleep. So these exercises or breathing exercises have to be done consciously, if that makes sense. So you learn that this is the state that you prefer to be in, and you don't really accept a stressful, anxious state. Now, don't forget, when you are in a stressful, anxious state, you are releasing stress hormones automatically. You can't stop it. So the adrenal glands are producing cortisol and adrenaline every time it believes there's a lion or bear chasing it, or every time you put yourself via your conscious mind into a stressful situation, or you believe you are in a stressful situation. These hormones are released, and when they are released, unfortunately your immune system is down. So the very system you need to defend you is actually down. But that's okay. That's okay if it's down, because you're only supposed to be in stressful situations momentarily to get out of danger. However, you put yourself mentally in danger chronically throughout the whole day. And so Most illnesses are caused because the immune system is weakened. So that's the focus on why we are learning to breathe and learning to relax. And as I go through these videos, we'll go into deeper relaxation techniques, as well as actually teaching you how to dispel stress quickly in the moment as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, take care.